Hello, everyone. Welcome to chapter 212 of The Last Thoughts of a Busy Mind. This one titled 2026, possibly, more than likely, 2026 Part 1. This is kind of a yearly tradition here at the show, when at the beginning of the new year, I will talk about what happened the year prior and plan out the year ahead. Usually I don't stick to it, but it's tradition. You may have noticed it's not the beginning of the new year, but my January is gone for reasons that if you right now just search Iran, you will know why. And on top of that, if you're outside of Iran, do amplify our voices, genuinely. So yeah, my drink today is a mojito flavored carbonated soda. Great. Not that bad, actually. To be honest, I do have a mixed berry one as well. I think I'm going to keep that for next week. So yeah, I want to talk about what was my plans for 2025 and what happened in 2025, and then plan out my 2026. Let's first talk about what I was planning for 2025. I'm going to read them. There are 10 things on this list. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of them, but most of them I'm just going to read and move forward. First off was finishing The Dawn Rises, my short movie, and then submitting for all festivals. My movie hasn't finished yet. It still hasn't finished yet. We are waiting on music and audio and final touches. There are a myriad of reasons why it has been dragging on. Mostly it's because a lot of the things that are done for the movie are favors from my friends. And so I don't want to really push them to the point of making them feeling uncomfortable. So yeah. But also I don't check up on them as much as I should, which hopefully in 2026 I can remedy that. Getting my actual IELTS still hasn't done that, and with the rates right now and the hyperinflation, I have put it for plans for 2026, not gonna lie, just a little heads up, but it's becoming less and less likely. Leaving Iran. I did leave Iran a couple of times to go on a trip, but I didn't leave Iran. And part of me wishes that I had. I probably shouldn't keep postponing that one. Oh, getting my driver's license. That sucks. I didn't do that. Not a good excuse, I just didn't. Number 5, health. And then 3, parts that are losing some weight, getting rid of last wisdom tooth, and therapy. Did lose some weight. It started the diet. We'll talk more when we get to the retrospective for 2025, but I did lose some weight. I probably have gained all of that back right now for myriad of reasons, but I did it. I actually did it. I didn't get rid of my last wisdom tooth, mostly because I am scared. That one is embedded. And the other 3, where they just pulled them out, I fainted. I am not ready to get rid of that last one. Therapy, I had 1 session, I think, this year. Didn't like the person and didn't continue. Probably should. Number 6, finished the Dracula video. Oh my god, I'm making more videos. Didn't make any videos in 2025. Again, myriad of reasons. Just feeling unmotivated. You probably know. If you listen to this show in 2025, one of the main things I keep talking about is the fact that I lack motivation. Number 7, write more, fiction and non-fiction. I did write more in a sense. The things I have written here that I want to write about, like a script and short stories and journals and my thesis, I haven't actually written, but I've written other things, which I will talk about when we get to the retrospective. Number 8, keep on with audio and visual project. This is one of them. I have kept on with this. More guesting. I didn't do it as much. There were 2 or 3 podcasts that I guested on 2025. Most of the reasons I can't do that as much is it takes a lot of planning and all of that. And you may have noticed this year I wasn't really on top of things. And hopefully I can change that, though the way this year has been going so far, I am not holding my breath. And I had 3 more podcast ideas, which none of them actually came to fruition. I have more for this year, and let's see if it will happen. Jesus. Number 9, just be a better friend. I have to ask my friend. I doubt I am. I genuinely doubt that I was a better friend this year. And number 10, work on better editing or video making. Board game, video game, building up resume. Didn't do much of any. I did do something in regard to editing, which I will get to. The board game, I did go forward. It didn't end. Video game, the biggest thing I did was I installed Game Maker and watched a few tutorials. Didn't actually do anything with it though. But I have been refining my ideas. Building up the resume, I did, but not in the way that make me feel good about things. But that was the plan for 2025, 10 items. Now, I want to go for my retrospective of 2025, which is 16 items. And basically, this is not just things that I've done, but the things that happened. Basically, when I look back at the year, this is the stuff that kind of seems more prominent. First of all, I finished editing and color correction on The Dawn Rises. Despite the fact that the movie is not finished, I actually managed to get my editor in, and we finally finished the editing. We did the final, master version, the director's cut, and we finished the color correction, which was intensive, and I'm glad that we actually did. Number 2, first ever trip to Europe. It's the first time I ever left my continent, ever left my region, and I went to Europe. I went to Paris, Frankfurt, and Munich for 4 days. And it was interesting. I actually met friends and family that I had in Europe, and it felt good. Genuinely felt amazing. And I'm happy. I'm happy about that. I ate a croissant. I ate spaghetti in Frankfurt. I didn't eat any sausages. I probably should have. But yeah. Number 3, kept on with the last thought. Now, this is a contentious thing. I kept on with the last thought, but if you listened last year, you probably know I have had more slippages in the last year than I had for the whole last 3 years of last 4 years of the last thoughts of a busy mind. And a part of that is lack of motivation. I feel like my life is slowly getting out of hand. Part of it is out of my hands, literally. The fact that I don't know if I'm going to publish this, if I can publish my next episode, because, well, I live in Iran and there is a chance that the internet will get cut off or the VPN won't work. And let's not even talk about the fact that there might be a war. So, another one. So, yeah, that really took a toll on me. And there is some of it that are personal. I feel unfulfilled in my quote-unquote career. I feel isolated. I feel unorganized. And I feel like I'm losing time. Literally, I feel like I'm racing towards death. And I'm not even 30 yet. I'm not even 29 yet. I'm 28. I will be 29 in 2 weeks. But I am still 28. So, yeah. Started a new novel. I did work on Novel November. I started to write the dystopian story that I had in mind, Didn't finish Novel November, didn't write the 50,000 that you should write for it, but I have started it and I actually feel good about it. I feel good that I started it. It's not great, but one of the problems I've had, especially in the last year, is finishing. I start things, I go to the middle, and then I lose motivation, I lose inspiration, and I stop. And I want to just finish this. I want to finish this story to the point that I can point to it and say, okay, start to finish, it's done. But it's not good. That's when the rewriting starts. Number 5, work on Ahriman Dawn of Darkness. It's a video game that my cousin is making. I am the narrative designer for it. And this year, I actually did a lot more work. I was more involved than I was the year before. I wrote a lot more stuff. I wrote dialogues. I wrote entries for the Gamespedia, the Ahripedia, I don't know, the in-game encyclopedia. So I actually wrote a lot more. I did voice and I worked a lot on that. Number 6, war. There was a war, the 12-day war. There might be another one. We don't know. Everything is very scary. I'm having a light anxiety attack. I'm going to move on. I'm actually going to take a sip of my mojito-flavored carbonated soda. Yep, I needed that. Number 7 is actually harder. Arya Sutude's death. My friend's brother was a teenager. He was battling cancer, and sadly he passed away. And I'm not over it yet. I'm genuinely not over it yet. Look at this. I went from anxiety to depression. Amazing, right? I don't know how I haven't digested it yet. That's the thing. It's still too fresh in my mind, even though it happened months ago. I don't think I actually did get myself enough time to mourn properly or actually come to grips with things. Because after that, very shortly after that, was the next item, which is number 8, Dad's heart surgery. My dad had an open heart surgery. All of a sudden, the problem wasn't all of a sudden, but the surgery was all of a sudden. It was a surprise. It was very hard. I thought I was going to lose him, and I was not ready for that. I am still not ready for that. I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, things weren't good there. These are the things I didn't talk about throughout the year because we were in the hiatus of the show, and then the next season I started talking about Iran, and I stayed away from the personal problems, and this was one of them. It was bad. Number 9, guessing on more podcasts. As I said, I guessed on 3. They were incredible. I do love being a guest. Genuinely, I do love guesting on podcasts. I love talking about Hammer, which I did talk about again. Iranian cinema. We talked about Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow. Just talking about CG and all of that. And I do love being a part of that. And I have found people who I want to be a part of that with. So yeah. Number 10. Working on Azar and Vuan and Psyche. Plus live stream for Boudica and first ever color correction. Okay. I worked on my friend's movie. I was the first AD editor and I did color correction and a little bit of sound. I was the quote-unquote first AD on another short movie. I didn't know the person. It wasn't a good experience. And I was lead direct editor for a startup that didn't end up going anywhere. First of all, it reminded me how much I fucking hate everything to do with AI, but I'm not going to get into it right now. The thing is that, and I did another live stream. I am not good at live streams. This show is probably as close that I will ever get to doing things live. Though I do want to, in my head, I'm like, I want to do more live stream stuff. I don't think I'm good at it because I am not good at keeping people entertained for long periods of time. I am actually quite awkward. I know I'm doing a show live right now, live as in unedited, but the fact is, it's not live. I can throw this away and record it from the beginning. It's unedited. There is a massive difference. And also, you cannot see me. That's a huge part of it. If you start seeing me, that will become a whole other thing. That's why none of my videos are unedited, because I am not good on camera. But I did another live stream. But yeah, let's talk about the first ever color correction for the movie Oza. I actually, for the first time, did color correction. Now, it wasn't good. Like, I wouldn't call myself good at color correction, or what I did was actually even professional, but I did actually open the color tab on Adobe Premiere, something I haven't done before. When I talked about I did something of better editing, I actually can do some color correction, I guess, but that's as far as I think I can go at this moment without some proper training, which I do want. I do want to actually get down to it and say, okay, I'm going to learn color correction. I don't know how feasible that is, because at the same time, we have a finite amount of hours in the day and I want to do an infinite amount of things. Number 11, got fired from uni. Yes, I got fired from my university. Don't feel bad. There is a whole other complicated thing going on. But yeah, generally, even my dad went to the hospital. I didn't call my uni and tell them. So they gave me another semester. So they said, we have to fire you, and then you have to do a petition of returning to education, and then you can actually do your thing. So yeah, I got fired from uni. Number 12, which is one of the bigger things of 2025, which I think I'm seeing the time going to then might be where I do a cutoff and then do the last 4 at the beginning of the next episode. But number 12 was crafting every major craft kit. Now, I had a bunch of craft kits. Some of them I've had for like around 2 years. And when the war happened and we had to leave Tehran, I brought a few of them with me. I actually bought another one. And I decided that I need to get rid of them. Not rid of them as in, I just need to finish them. They've been weighing on me for so long. And I actually did. There are a few like minor craft kits or some paper kits that I haven't done yet, but the major ones, the ones that were boxed and like had intricate pieces and all of that, I actually did. I did a lot of crafting this year, like 12 major crafting things. I did cross stitching for the first time. I did embroidery for the first time. I did a lot of things for the first time this year, which I'm going to just tell them some of them. I did my first intensive cosplay. I bought fabric. Sadly, couldn't sew it myself, so I asked my mother's friend to sew it for me. But I did make a foam gauntlet, which looked like metal. I made a shield, and my cosplay was a medieval king. So I went as a medieval king, and I had a canvas like undergarment, and then on top of that there was one of these lanyards that I don't know if it's even historically accurate, but Richard the Lionheart wears them in all of his cinematic things. I did a tiny diorama for my friend, and this was the first time I ever did a diorama from scratch. After one of the kits that I did was a diorama, I actually made one from scratch, and it's one of the things I'm most proud of. I did more collages. I did another tiny diorama, but this one was less detailed. It depicted the scene. It was in a little plastic dome, clear dome, and it looked cute. It was for my grandmother, who asked for one of my crafts. And as I said, I learned cross stitch and embroidery. My embroidery project isn't done yet. It should be done, but I haven't put it enough time. But I did do a Star Trek badge for my friend, who is a massive Trekkie like I am. I am a Trekkie. I don't know if I've said that before yet. But yeah, I am a massive Trekkie. So I made a badge for him with cross stitch. It really was hard on my finger and my muscles. but I actually did that. And well, with that said, I will see you all next week for part 2.